the interest of timekeeping, I think we'll go ahead and get started now. So good morning once again. As always, on behalf of the Spanish Chamber of Commerce in the UK, I'd like to give you a very warm welcome to this morning's webinar, which is the first that we're holding following our summer break. This webinar will be on the topic of opening a company in the UK for Spanish citizens. As a very quick disclaimer, the session is being recorded today. So we're delighted to be holding this webinar in collaboration with Chamber member Flying Formations, a business consultancy firm which specialises in helping European clients set up and grow their business here in the UK. They can help you open a UK limited company, conduct market research, plan your market entry, and provide commercial agent services. So helping you import your products, services, and make sales here in the UK. For today's session, we're joined by Kad Raja, International Business Manager at Flying Formations, who after graduating with a first-class degree in economics, went on to be a senior business bank manager for Barclays London before co-founding Flying Formations. So Kad has a vast network and portfolio of clients across the globe and has helped many companies enter the UK market. Following on from Kad's presentation this morning, there will be time for a Q&A session. So throughout the duration of the talk, please do feel free to enter or submit any questions that you have in the Q&A function below, and then we'll have time to address those later. That's everything from me for now. Thank you for joining us, Kad. Over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Rebecca, for the very kind introductions, and good morning to everybody, and thank you for joining the call today. In collaboration with the Spanish Chamber of Commerce, we very much look forward to kind of speaking to everyone today and just really getting some basic information across to you about opening a company in the UK for Spanish citizens, really. So I'll go through just a bit of an introduction, really. So firstly, as we said, hello, we are Flying Formations. Like Rebecca kindly said, we're a unique business consultancy service which helps international clients to establish and grow their business in the UK. We're really a project management company that basically assists foreign clients to invest predominantly in West London, but also all over the UK as well. So we've done various different projects all across the UK. So we're very well established. We have London staff who have a wealth of expertise in different business sectors as well. So that's just a little bit of brief information about the company. Like Rebecca kindly gave the introduction about myself, I've been the international business manager now for over 11 years now with the company. My main job role is really to facilitate growth for clients who are looking to start business here in the UK or move their established businesses here in the UK as well. So we deal with various different markets. We not only facilitate growth, we kind of hold your hand throughout the business journey here in the UK, and our specialism, is in the UK market. Just a few more details, just so you kind of have a good insight and a good grounding as to who we really are. So established since 2011, so we've been going for over 13 years now. We're partners of multiple chambers of commerce in London. So you can see the logos there on the right-hand side: Italian Chamber of Commerce, the Italian Trade Agency, German Chamber of Commerce, of course, the Spanish Chamber of Commerce as well, Portuguese Chamber of Commerce, and the Arab British Chamber of Commerce. So we've been working with these guys for a number of years. And we've got very tight-knit and close relationships with the entire chambers that we work with. A few other points here really is we've collaborated with many international companies to make business dreams a reality. We've helped just under 1,200 customers that we've helped, really business clients. And we've got professionals in different industries, ranging from the healthcare sector to professionals to hospitality and tourism and various different other industries that we work in as well. Setting the agenda for today's call. So just, like I said, this is a very basic introduction to the benefits and processes of opening a UK company. So we won't go too in depth. The presentation really will last between 20 to 30 minutes today. And like Rebecca kindly said, there will be an opportunity for question and answer sessions. But topics which will be discussed today, the first key thing we'll be discussing is the benefits of conducting business in the UK. So what are the key benefits for companies to set up here business? we'll go through the different range of benefits to have a limited company or limited liability partnership, whichever structure that you select. But what are the key benefits? This is important so Spanish people and citizens can understand why UK is a good place to do business. The next step will be really the process of opening a UK limited company and entering the UK market. So we'll be discussing what the processes are of this as well, and how you can enter the UK market. And the other point will be company taxes in the UK. So company taxes, we'll be discussing what the tax elements are in the UK for having a limited company. I'm not a tax expert. We do have accountants and specialist tax advisors within Flying Formations, but I've obviously got knowledge of company taxes. So we'll make those details very clear to you and what you should really be aware of if you are thinking of setting up a company here in the UK. And Q&A, like Rebecca said, there will be an opportunity for you guys to ask any questions, and I will try my very best to answer them to my best of my ability, basically. So moving swiftly on. So firstly, the first key point is, why should a Spanish entrepreneur open a company in the UK? So there's various different bullet points on this slide that we need to consider. London, firstly, is considered a brand worldwide. So this is a very important point. Yes, I know the current economic climate is not fantastic at the moment. The property market has dipped, interest rates have risen, but and we've been battling, Brexit, COVID. There's been a lot that's been going on, and there's been obviously quite a bit of turmoil with the economy. However, even regarding this, London is still considered a brand worldwide. It's considered one of the best financial hubs in order to do business. So this is one of the key attractions which really brings people from Europe, the rest of the world, to London to open business and to carry out business here. The second bullet point there, reputation and transparency. That's one of the key things in the UK. You do get reputation, and there's a lot of transparency. The procedures are very clear as well. And that basically goes in nicely with setting up a company here. So reputation and transparency is a key couple of elements why people find the UK as a good market. Stable economy, yes, we had a bit of turmoil, but it is a stable economy still, and we have a very well regulated jurisdiction as well. So everything is done by the book here in the UK, and that's a key point. One of the main things, obviously, having dealt with various European clients from the Far East, clients from the US, is the openness to international trade. The UK is really forward thinking. We do have an open mind that we want to trade with the rest of the world. Yes, we've had Brexit, but there's policies and procedures in place to help import exports. So we are the gateway to Europe, the US, and global markets. So we're in an ideal position in order to do business with the rest of the world, basically. Ease of banking and processes. This is actually an important point, because I've heard a lot of nightmare stories when we have international clients who come to set up business here in the UK. They are very surprised about how the banking and the processes work. Whereas from stories that I've heard, that basically clients really struggle with their banking facilities abroad, and there's a lot of issues that they have. Another key benefit is tax incentives and other benefits. Like I said, we'll be touching upon the company taxes a bit later on in the presentation. Investors always also seem to like a UK company. A solid UK company which has been established can attract foreign investors, and people do like to invest in a UK company. We've seen that with our own eyes. We've helped investors to invest in UK companies and people to grow their business as well. One of the key things is protection of your company name, as it's registered at Companies House as well. Now, Companies House is the public registrar for basically having a company in the UK. The key thing is, if you register a company in the UK, your name will then is secured at the public register. So anybody can see that. It's good for reputation, and your name is secured as well. So I could not go, for example, set up this exact same name that you have chosen, because it's already registered at Companies House. So this is one of the key things. It's all an open book, so everybody can actually see which details are appearing on the public record. Now, what also people find, especially European clients, we find that access to finance is much, much easier. People love to basically set up business here in London, and we actually help to facilitate finance growth as well. So, especially, for example, through COVID, we had a lot of our businesses, they did suffer slightly, but access to finance was readily available through the banks, through obviously the right channels with the right local business managers in place, and then you can achieve the right funding for your business as well. So funding is something that you need to kind of consider, and it's really open once you've got a bit of a reputation with your limited company. The other thing is you can assign various shareholders, amend the shareholding structure at ease as well. So this is a key point that you need to consider. With the business, you can amend the company structure, add shareholders, add directors at any time, and this could be done basically through the accountants, through our accounts team, and they can do all this for you. Timely responses and efficiency. I get this quite often, actually, surprisingly. So I've heard some European, I'm not going to name and shame some countries, but I've heard some countries have a timely response of 2-3 days if an email is sent in to them. In the UK, a lot of companies have like a 3-hour turnaround policy whereby emails are replied to, phone calls are replied to within a 3-hour working day time framework, basically. So a lot of people do like the fact that timely responses and efficiency is something that's very attractive in the UK. And of course, lastly, on the bullet point slide there, the language barrier. English is the most common language around the world. And English is spoken here. So people do find that that's fantastic as well, because it makes business much easier to do, basically. So those are the key benefits. As you can see from that slide, it's an endless list. You can add a lot more details on there, but those are the key benefits really of setting up a company here in the UK. So moving on to processes of opening a UK limited company registration. So this is something you guys need to be aware of, really, what the stages are if you were to register a company here in the UK. The first thing that you would need to do is decide on a company name. Now, why this is important is you need to ensure the company name is correct. So what I mean by this is a lot of companies and customers from abroad simply select a company name, register it at Companies House. But what happens is, unfortunately, that company name is potential risk elements involved with it. There's high risk words, for example, investments, holdings. There's so many different elements that basically cause issues with the company name. You have to ensure that your company name is not linked to a multinational company or a larger company out there. So if you get the company name wrong from the beginning, which a lot of people do, unfortunately, with foreign clients we receive, they come to us, say, CAD, look, we need to have a business bank account. Unfortunately, they cannot get a bank account because the company name they've selected is wrong. So you need to decide on a company name which works in the UK. There's no linkages with basically multinational companies or other companies, or it's a similar name to other companies. So otherwise you will have difficulty at the bank account opening stage. So deciding the company name, you do really need an advisor on board or a company like Flying Formations to really go through with you which is the best company name for your business, basically, in the UK. The other key thing is you need to have a registered office in the UK. This is mandatory. You cannot do a business here without having a registered office for your business. Now, Flying Formations does provide a registered office service. We provide that to our clients, but you must have a UK address because without that, you cannot register a limited company. Now, the company structure is the next point. So once obviously you've decided the company name, you've got the UK registered address, the next key thing you need to look at is deciding on the company structure. So which directors, which shareholders will be part of the business. Historically in the UK, what used to happen is that you need a director and one company secretary. So you always needed a limited company. That has now changed. What now is acceptable is a sole director and sole shareholder. So you could, for example, if I set up a company myself, I could be one director and 100% shareholder of my limited company. So this rule has come into place and it's much, much easier in order to open a company account. Something to be aware of here as well, guys, is if you open up a company here in the UK, we always advise customers to have a simple company structure in place. This will enable you to basically set up your bank account with ease. If you have a complex shareholding structure or a foreign entity as a shareholder, this will create a lot of complexities and you will struggle with the bank account opening stage as well. So company structures, what we advise is have a simple company structure. One director, one shareholder, or a couple of directors and a couple of shareholders always works well with foreign clients. Once that's done, you've decided the company structure, then there's an ID document check. So what we would require and what is required really in the UK is your passport and proof of address, which is dated within 3 months, which would be your bank statement or utility bill. Mobile phone bills are not accepted, and that ID document check would obviously happen in order to register a company. The next point is you need to decide the share capital which will be issued for the business. Majority of people in the UK issue 100 shares of £1 each, but you can decide whichever share capital that you wish to select. And once that share capital has been decided, that capital injection of the shares would need to go into the business bank account as well, once it's open. So once you've decided all that, the incorporation forms and IDs will need to be provided. So the incorporation form will need to be completed, which will detail nature of business, what your turnover is going to be, how many employees will you have, what kind of contracts you will have, and all your personal details, such as where you're living, and what your plans are for the UK. So incorporation forms would be provided, and that would need to be signed and emailed back across to us basically, and then once all this is all done, company registration can commence. So that is basically, guys, the process of opening a UK limited company, and that's how it basically works. So once the UK company has been opened, the next step would be really the business bank account opening. Now, the process of opening a bank account, especially for foreign clients, has become much more difficult. It's not like a personal account. A lot of foreign clients tend to get it very confused that, personal accounts can be opened very quickly within half an hour or 40 minutes with the UK banks, but it doesn't work that way with a business bank account. Usually you need to have at least 2 hours with the bank. They ask you numerous questions in terms of nature of business, turnover, employees, like I was mentioning, who you'll be doing business with, how you'll be transacting. Will it be online payments? Will you be receiving checks? How often will you be paid? Which method of payment will you be paid in? So there's a number of questions, a capital injection as well. They will ask you, what kind of funding and where will the funds be coming from in order to start this business? Again, this is an entire process with the bank. We're very familiar with the business bank account opening. We've got experienced business managers. Like Rebecca mentioned, I previously worked in the bank, so we are fully aware of their requirements, and we always adhere to their requests as well and make sure they are satisfied fully. But Fly Information, us ourselves, we actually attend bank meetings with clients. So we go to bank meetings with clients and do a presentation of the proposed business, and also show them the ID and documents that you have to satisfy all their requirements, basically. But we, as a company, we try to make the bank account opening process much more simple. Plus, one thing to understand is a bank account opening, especially with business bank accounts, can take 2 to 6 weeks. We always give that time frame to clients because the banks are very busy here in the UK. So it's not an easy process, but it is quite challenging, but we do manage to get it done for clients. What you get with the business bank accounts as well, you get currency accounts here. So whichever currency that you wish to trade in, whether it's dollar, GBP, euros, whichever you want it to work in, you can get currency accounts here in the UK. There's 6 main high street banks. We tend to go to those in order to open bank accounts. I don't want to name all of them, but likes of HSBC, Barclays, NatWest, TSB, and various other banks we can look through as well. Prominently, what's been happening recently is internet banks have become more popular as well. So you got Wise Bank, for example. They seem to be becoming more unpopular with foreign clients, but it's really down to you to select which bank approach that you want to take. And like the last bullet point is mentioned there, the bank rules are the most important thing. We have to adhere to the bank rules and follow what they say as well. So obviously, look, we've been through the benefits of having a company in the UK. We've been through the processes, and now this is the final little element that we wanted to discuss with you guys as a basic introduction to the UK market, is UK company taxes. So the main tax, if you're having a limited company in the UK, is corporation tax, which needs to be paid. Now, corporation tax rate mainly for smaller businesses is 19%, but corporation tax main rate is 25% for profits above £250,000. So a small profit, like I mentioned, rate is 19% for companies with profits of £50,000 or less. If you have profits between 50,000 and 250,000, you'll pay tax the main rate reduced by the marginal relief. So there's a bit of a relief that happens, and that gives you basically benefits, obviously, of saving money as well. So how is corporation? A lot of customers ask us, how is corporation tax worked out? Quite simply, it's income versus cost of goods sold, gives you the gross profit minus all other expenses, depreciation, wages, taxes, leaves you with the net profit figure, and you pay corporation tax on the net profit in the UK. I know in foreign countries there's some clients that pay actually corporation tax on income. So, but here in the UK, you have income minus the expenses, minus the cost of goods sold, and you have your net profit and you pay on the net profit. So obviously this is one huge benefit here in the UK. You don't pay it on income, whereas a lot of countries that we work with as well, they pay corporation tax on income levels, basically. Now, timescale to pay corporation tax. This is a key benefit as well. So going to a bit more detail. Timescale to pay corporation tax. The key number to remember is 9 months. You must deliver all company returns and pay the corporation tax within 9 months after your financial trading year has ended for the limited company. Now, this is hugely beneficial. So, for example, if you set up a company, a limited company, in January 2024, your financial trading year would be from January 2024 to December 2024. Then what you have is 9 months after that trading year is finished. So you will have September 2025 to pay that corporation tax and deliver all the company returns, which is the annual accounts, confirmation statement, the corporation tax filing, and paying the corporation tax. Those are the 4 key things that need to be delivered in that 9-month framework. So this is a key benefit, because what happens is a lot of foreign companies come to us and say, yeah, as soon as the trading year is finished abroad, as soon as it's finished, the day after, we must pay the corporation tax. But here in the UK, you have that 9-month bracket, you have that 9-month window in order to pay corporation tax and deliver the annual accounts, which is the main report of the business, and the other returns, which I mentioned as well. So that's very important. That's the structure that you have in the UK and how company taxes work, basically. The other key tax here, which you must be aware of, is VAT registration. So VAT currently stands at 20% in the UK. It's mandatory to have VAT registration above £82,000 turnover. It fluctuates. Sometimes they change the figure ever so slightly, but once you get near that threshold of turnover, of sales, you will then have to be mandatory registered in the UK for VAT registration. Now, VAT registration can take 1 to 6 weeks, depending how busy HMRC are. Sometimes they can complete applications within a week. Sometimes they take 3-4 weeks. So it really does depend how busy they are, like I said. But one of the key things you have to remember, this is something that foreign clients get caught out on quite often, is once you are trading in the UK, if you are applying for VAT, HMRC requests a UK trading address. This is a must. You cannot get away from this. So you have your business registered address, but if you're having a VAT registration number, you must have a trading address as well, because that has to be supplied to HMRC. So this is to ensure that basically companies are operating efficiently and effectively. I know, for example, in some foreign clients in European cities, as soon as you register a company, they provide you with a VAT number immediately. But in the UK here, it works differently. You only apply when you need to, or if you want to apply early, if you've got a lot of expenses to claim back. For example, a restaurant business, if they're setting up a restaurant in London, there'll be significant expenses such as kitchen fit outs, there'll be furniture that needs to be bought, and there'll be VAT element on that. So that can be, you can apply before the £82,000 threshold, register for VAT, and claim that VAT back. So that's the benefit of, obviously, if a restaurant was setting up. But that's just a quick example for you in order to consider VAT as well. So that concludes the 3 key elements I wanted to kind of mention today. The other kind of things that I just wanted to go through really was what our mission is as a company, as Flying Formations. We help business to enter the UK market. Like Rebecca kindly said, we facilitate business growth by managing your project through our tailored business approach. We really make it a personal service. We want you to think of business growth whilst Flying Formation manages all business and tax processes for you. That's the key mission that we have. Our strategy, the key strategy for our company is to create value to the international client and to be compliant with UK regulations and processes to run a UK company. So our focus is on precision, realistic possibilities, and honest help. This is our key things that we need to focus on, but the main emphasis is on creating value for international clients and making your life basically easier. A quick summary I wanted to do with you guys as well is just to say the services as well that we offer. So as I've been through with you today, so one element was the UK business setup. We can manage the entire process, entirety of a business setup and carry out the hard work by planning, executing, and controlling the work of a team to get your project off the ground. We form limited companies and much more as well. Other key things we provide under Flying Formations is accountancy. So we've got fantastic tax advisors, specialist tax advisors. We've got companies that we look after who are very well established, some very small businesses as well, but we have dedicated accountants to those businesses to ensure that accounts are filed on time and tax work is done in the best manner possible. Project management is something that we offer. Like we said, we tailor projects to each client. Each client is very, very different, but we plan, execute, and control the work of a team and get the project off the ground. That's our main responsibility. Another key thing that Flying Formations actually does provide is market reports, UK business entry, and business planning as well. Our business plans and market research reports are tailored to each client. So if, for example, you from Spain are unsure, you don't know what, if UK is the right market for you, you're hesitant, maybe you're 60% decided yes and 40% hesitancy, we can produce a market report tailored to your specific industry to highlight what the main obstacles are, what the main growth patterns are, what your potential clients could be. So we can produce these reports, which really helps clients to make an informed decision when they need to. The other thing is we offer property sourcing. We provide office space. We locate shops for clients. So this is something we provide. It's a fantastic service whereby we hunt properties down for clients in order to basically provide the right locations so they can get their business kick-started. The other key service that we provide is commercial agent services. We represent businesses in the UK. So now we have some clients who are from Europe, from the Far East. They don't like to travel too much. So we can be the representative here in the UK market, liaise with your clients here in the UK, represent and run exhibition events and carry out sales in the UK. So we specialize in doing these things as well. But that's something I just wanted to highlight, the services that we have on offer. Our numbers, a little repetition, like I mentioned earlier, 2011, we started. Just under 1,200 clients we've helped, with 73 new clients in 2023, 25 million total revenue which has been generated across the board of clients that we work with. We've got 5-star reviews on Google with 54 reviews currently. We completed 310 projects and we work with 14 countries at present. So that's just a little bit of a number details for you for Flying Formations as well. One example here is a lady from Italy, a Joelle Hair Salon. She was fantastic. She started her business in 2015. She left us a review. We started one shop in 2015 and today we have 3. They are truly an exceptional professional and we are thankful for their contributions to our company's success. We helped her launch in the UK. We helped to find her first shop in Chiswick, then one in Primrose Hill, and then one near Seven Sisters. And we're currently completing another one as well for her. So she'll hopefully have 4 shops very soon. But this is an example of how we helped her to fit the salons. We helped her to also find the right locations for her and obviously set up a limited company bank account as well. So we did the entire range of services for her and she's a very good established client for us basically. So That really concludes the presentation. The key question is, are you ready now to set up? Or if you need any questions answered, I'm more than happy to answer any questions for you. And I really wanted to say thank you very much for listening, guys. And any questions, I'm more than happy to answer. I'll pass it back to Rebecca.
Thank you, Kad. No, thank you for sharing your insights. That was really informative. We have had a couple of questions come in, so I'll just kickstart that off for you.
Okay.
One is, do you only need a passport to open a company in the UK? Is any other sort of special ID necessary?
No, you do need a proof of address as well. So you need to provide a proof of address dated within 3 months. So they used to have historically, they used to have a one doc policy. That's what it was called, a one doc policy to open a company and open bank accounts. But the banks have actually got rid of this now. So they need a proof of address. Like I said, it has to be a bank statement, a utility bill, something along those lines. It cannot be a mobile phone bill, so they won't accept that basically.
Okay, fantastic. Another one that we have is, how long does it actually take to open a business bank account?
Yeah, a business bank account is a good question. It really is dependent on how busy the banks are, but we give a 2 to 6 week timescale to open a bank account. If we get it done before, that's a fantastic achievement. But banks really work on a timescale from 2 to 6 weeks in order to open a bank account facility for clients.
Okay. And then, yeah, just the same again about the identification documents. They're required to register and then open a business bank account as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the registration document, you must have a passport and a proof of address. Without that, you cannot proceed on any basis. The banks want to know basically where you're living when you're abroad. So that's a very important point. You have to provide evidence of where you're living, because they will request those documents, and they keep those documents on file as well.
Okay. And then another one we've had.
Yeah. Hi, Rebecca, can you still hear me?
I'm not sure if you lost me for a moment there.
Hi, Rebecca. Yeah, I'm not sure, it froze there for a second, but I'm still here.
Okay, apologies about that. We do still have everyone here. I'll
Okay.
just read out the question once again. So just about the most or the biggest problem you think Spanish companies are facing when they try to open a business here in the UK.
I think one of the biggest problems is the key thing is, I think the bank account opening is one of the real struggles people have. And language is also a big issue as well. English is quite crucial to have here so you can liaise with UK clients. But the main thing is the bank account opening, a lot of Spanish people struggle with, and also the language barrier. But as I was mentioning in the presentation, the key thing is to ensure you have the right company name. So when it comes to the bank account opening stage, you don't have any risk factors or high risk factors which the bank consider to be problematic, basically. So it's important to get step one right, which is the decision on the company name, and then from there on in, it should be a smooth journey to open a company and etc.
Okay, fantastic. And then another one is how do you manage your visa in this process? Like, do you get a special visa?
Yeah, that's a good question about the visa. Now, we don't get, I'm sure you can understand, we don't have an immigration team, unfortunately, with flying formations, but it's a very good question. Obviously, after Brexit, there's been a lot of visa inquiries and everything. What we do, actually, we don't get involved in the visa process. That's something we don't really help. That's not something we specialize in. If somebody needed help with visa processes, we actually have an immigration advisor that we work with very closely. That's somebody who helps a lot of our international clients who are coming to the UK to actually make sure that the visa requirement is satisfied. So when they come here, that we look after everything. So it's something that we don't do, but we can help with, basically.
Okay, fantastic. And one last question that we've had here is, can you have a director who is a Spanish resident?
Yes, you can. Now, this is something that we need to be a bit careful of as well. Now, if the bank's requirements can change at any time. So currently, there are some banks still accepting residents abroad, but a lot of the banks have changed their policies and procedures whereby they require a UK resident as well. So it really does depend on which cycle that we, the banks, like I said, they will go through different cycles of requirements. But if the banks basically are accepting non-UK residents, then absolutely fine. You can be resident in Spain. We've got, for example, many clients who are resident around the world. And they operate their UK companies. But if we go to a bank that says, no, you need to be resident in the UK in order to open a bank account, then obviously that's something that will need to be considered. In order to open a limited company, you don't need to be resident here. So you can open a limited company and be resident anywhere around the world. As long as it's not a high-risk country, like a sanctioned country, then you'll be absolutely fine. But resident around the world is absolutely okay. Otherwise, London wouldn't be one of the main financial hubs. We've got clients from all over, basically. So, yeah, you can be resident in Spain. When it comes to the bank account, that might be a slight issue, but obviously something that we can work along and try to help you with.
Fantastic. Well, I think that's everything that we've had through for today, Kad. So thank you so much. And to those of you who have joined who perhaps haven't had a chance to ask your question, I will be sharing sending a follow-up email after this session with Kad's contact details, so you are able to contact him directly and address any questions, concerns, doubts that you might have. I will also be sharing the recording for the session as well to everyone who registered. So if you have any colleagues or anyone who you think might benefit from the session, please do feel free to share that link with whoever might find it useful. It will also be uploaded to the Chambers YouTube channel along with previous webinars that we've held and highlight videos from our other events. So please do feel free to take a look at those. Just like to end today's session by thanking Kad and the Flying Formations team for collaborating with us to hold this presentation today, for obviously fellow members of the Chamber and non-members as well. And thank you again to those of you who have joined us. Please do keep your eyes peeled on our events calendar. As always, we're very busy and we have a lot happening here at the Chamber. On Thursday, we are holding another webinar with our member Nomad Mood, and then we also have two of our biggest corporate events coming up as well, the annual gala dinner on the 4th of October and then the Golden Award celebration on the 17th of October. So it would be fantastic to see as many of you there as possible. And that's everything. We'll wrap up there. And thank you once again to everyone and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kad.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye. Bye-bye.